find that generally the fundamental principles that we need to retain liberty are more commonly seen in the Republican Party, because, I mean, we know that the Democratic Party is not for gun rights. So we're looking at Barry Goldwater, we're looking at Ronald Reagan, and that's one of our secret codes, actually. You know, we're in incognito because the Republican Party has taken steps to keep us out all along the process. They've broken their own rules. I would say that, you know, some might call that fraud. And even at this convention, there's a rumor going around that they didn't count the Ron Paul votes. We cast more than 5 votes, and those votes disappeared on the floor right now. I mean, yesterday. So that's what I've been told. That
roll call vote for
McCain.
McCain. I don't know why they would do that. It wouldn't change the outcome of
right,
the selection.
Exactly.
So why even bother? So you feel like your own party's kind of forsaking you a little bit here.
Well,
why
they
is that? I mean,
have.
we saw the. I'll tell you what bothered me during the debates. During the primaries, Ron Paul was on the ballot. I believe, was this in New Hampshire where this occurred, and the debate was being sponsored by Fox, and they decided they didn't have enough room at the table for Ron Paul, and yet at that moment, Ron Paul had raised more money than any of the other, probably all the other candidates combined.
Right, and that's true. And as a matter of fact, even now, he raised more money from the troops. You know, they say we don't love the troops. We love the troops, and they love us. He has still raised more money than all the others combined when you look at troop donations. And I'm not talking about big corporate, you know, Boeing or Lockheed or whatever. I'm talking about rank and file troops, or even officers, I suppose. So, you know, we're for the troops, and we're for, you know, we are for a non-interventionist foreign policy. Some use another word which I won't even repeat right now.
Isolationism.
Oh boy, don't say that.
Said that Ron Paul was an isolationist.
We are not. We want to trade, and we want to be friendly with all other peaceful countries. We're not isolationists. We follow the tradition of the United States, which was not to get involved in foreign entanglements.
So what does a guy like you do come November? You support Ron Paul. You are a Republican. You ran for Congress as a Republican. Do you vote for John McCain, or do you vote for Ron Paul?
Well, yes, there's the write-in. In Texas, the write-in is just ignored. The choices are really 3 choices we have. We have Bob Barr of the Libertarian Party.
Show. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, Bob has had a change of heart recently, and he's now, you know, he voted some ways that kind of disturbed me, and now he's talking a certain tune, and that's great. And I think that the Libertarians made that choice, and that's fine. The one that would attract me more is someone named Chuck Baldwin of the Constitution Party. Now, he was a supporter of Ron Paul for a long time, and he didn't announce until after Ron withdrew, and now he's running for the Constitution Party, which I have some difficulties with, but he himself appears to be a good candidate without reservation, basically, and so there's Chuck Baldwin. But you know, I am a Republican, and we're trying to reach out. We've been kicked in the teeth. We've been, you know, beat up pretty well by our own party, and you know, I guess we kind of deserve it because we're trying to change things, and you know, change is bad, right?
I don't know. It seems like the theme, not only of the Democrats, but now the Republicans, the theme has changed. I don't understand that because it's a Republican administration. Now this convention is talking about change. I guess, as you suggested, whoever gets elected, it will be a change, obviously, from the current administration.
Well, frankly, to a Ron Paul person, there's not a dime's worth of difference between the 2 parties, and you'll hear that in Texas a lot. You'll hear it, you know, you can hear that. But the Palin selection is very interesting and has sort of stimulated some interest amongst even Ron Paul Republicans. Because you know that there's an MTV video people can find on YouTube where you search Palin, Ron Paul, MTV, and she said that she thought Ron Paul was a cool guy, I like him, or something like that. And I've just linked that on my website, ronpaulgroups.com. So there she is saying nice things about Ron Paul, and that has not circulated at this convention. I keep asking, you know, what we're now calling good government Republicans. We don't want to insult them with neocon, so we're calling them good government Republicans. Don't know about that yet, but the Ron Paul do. So I am getting very tempted to vote for Paulin for vice president.
So you're not really voting for McCain. You're
Well,
voting for Sarah.
I'm voting. I may be voting for Pollen for president,
Oh,
vice president.
okay. Let's you want to take a few calls? You up to it?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go to Anna in Florida. Anna, welcome to News Talk Online on Paltalk.com, live from the Republican National Convention.
Hi, thanks, Gary. I just wanted to touch on a few points. I understand that you're a Ron Paul supporter. A lot of his policies, in my view, if he had run after the Clinton administration, probably would have been more feasible than today, seeing as the United States now has an overwhelmingly negative backlash from the Iraq War and several foreign policy mistakes of this administration. For us to completely withdraw from certain hotspots around the world, I think would probably leave our investments as well as our embassies vulnerable. But I just wanted to speak for a moment about the gist of how the convention is going thus far. The one thing I've heard them mention so far is McCain's healthcare plan, which would create $600 billion in deficits, as opposed to Obama's plan that would create $800 billion in revenue. And apart from that, in drilling, I haven't heard very much. I really expected Senator Palin, who people have been saying lacks foreign policy experience, to come out there and speak about Afghanistan and speak about Pakistan and speak about the Conventional Forces of Europe Treaty and things like that, and really show that she's in touch with what's going on, with what's going on around the world. And
do we lose Anna? I'm looking
no,
at.
I thought
Anna's still here.
I'm
Anna's
sorry
still here.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I was sort of expecting that from her. I was also expecting perhaps for Romney, who Alan correctly pointed out as being the economist of the party. He ran two businesses, popular in Michigan and Missouri. I expected him to sort of touch on what McCain's economic plans are. There's been little to none